And as we said, the city is gearing up for this week's ice and snowfall. News 18's Joe Paul is live this afternoon in Lafayette. Earlier today, he rode along with a truck driver who's preparing roads ahead of the winter storm. Joe, what's the city doing to get ready for it?
Hey Jeff, anyone who drove through Lafayette earlier today might have noticed trucks driving around pre-treating the streets. And they're using a mixture of salt water and beet juice. Street Commissioner Dan Kroll telling me today that that mixture doesn't freeze all the way down to temperatures below zero. And that's what we're expecting this week, along with a lot of ice and snow. But officials with the street department tell me they're ready. The city is sitting on 1,500 tons of salt and sand. Drivers are also spreading that on the roads today in anticipation of this winter storm. And as we've told you, the city declared a snow emergency ahead of this storm. Lafayette Mayor Tony Roswarski saying that gives people until midnight to move their cars off of snow emergency routes.
We have the equipment, we have the routes, we have the manpower, we have the salt, but what we really, really need now is citizen cooperation.
Lafayette's network of roads amounts to about 300 miles, and that's a lot of ground to cover, and it's an all-hands-deck affair with employees from every department chipping in this week to plow the snow. Well, as Jeff said earlier, I did have a chance to ride along with a plow driver as he pre-treated the roads today. I asked him how he's gearing up for a busy week. You can hear more on that coming up on News 18 at 6. For now, reporting live in Lafayette, Joe Paul, News 18.
And Duke Energy is also warning people to get ready for the snowstorm that's headed our way. News 18's Meredith Hackler joins us now with preparations that Duke Energy says customers should be taking right now. Meredith?
Jeff, Duke Energy is warning people about this impending snow and ice that is headed our way and that it likely could cause some power outages. They say that the most likely culprit, of creating those power outages are tree branches that will break due to that heavy snow and ice that once again is headed our way. They say you should follow these guidelines to make sure you're safe during this snowstorm. First and foremost, make sure you have adequate supplies in the form of an emergency kit. That includes things like flashlights, batteries, bottled water, non-perishable foods, and medicines. It may also be a good idea to have a wireless charger that is charged, of course, or battery-operated radios. If someone in your family has a disability or specific medical needs, it may be a good idea to make alternative shelter arrangements. People should also stay away from downed or sagging power lines and report them to Duke Energy or local emergency services. If you own a generator, follow the manufacturer's instructions to ensure safe and proper operation. Make sure you operate that generator outside, never operate it inside a building or garage. And finally, don't use grills or other outdoor appliances or equipment indoors for space heating or cooking, as these devices may emit carbon monoxide. Now, Duke Energy has added 300 additional line workers, damage assessors, and vegetation crews to make sure that they can respond to those calls and fix any outages as quickly as possible. Now, they do ask that if you see any power lines down or you have an outage yourself, to text out to 57801 or call 800-343-3525. Meredith Hackler, News 18.
And this winter storm will be meaning a lot of people rely on their thermostats for warmth, but that can pose some possible dangers to avoid as well. News 18's Ani Kasparian caught up with some furnace specialists at Anderson Heating and Cooling. She's live now in West Lafayette to tell us more. Ani?
Hey, Jeff. So, of course, with this winter storm pushing through, you know that the furnaces in your home will be put to the test. So what you should know is that I spoke with Joe Coleman at Anderson Heating and Cooling, who told us how to prevent any issues with your furnace, to optimize that heat in your home, and also to prevent any fires like that national story we saw in the Bronx. So what you need to know first is to check to make sure your filter is clean and relatively new. Your furnace is going to be running full time, and if the filter is slowing the air down, it might overheat and shut down. So check that filter. Make sure the batteries also in your thermostat are fresh. If batteries lose their power overnight in the middle of that night, it will be hard to heat your space back up. Also, set your thermostat at one temperature, the temperature you want it to be during the day. That way, it doesn't have to catch up. If you will not be home during these next few days, keep your home at a warm temperature to prevent pipes from freezing. If you have curtains on your windows, keep them closed. It will prevent cold air from getting in. And lastly, if you do use a space heater, make sure to place it on hard flooring, not a rug, and never leave the space heater unattended. And plug it into a wall with the correct matching voltage. Not every extension cord is made for this.
I think one of the main things that people do that can cause problems that you run into is to just remove your filter. And because if you take your filter out, the dirt that would have collected on the filter goes and collects on your air conditioning coil. Once that dirt misses the filter and goes there, it'll plug that thing up, and it's thousands of dollars to get that problem remedied.
Anderson also tells us to make sure to keep that flue or vent pipe that may exit out of the side of your house clear of snow so it can work properly. We here at News 18 are here to keep you safe and informed with 24-hour coverage as we investigate the weather situation more. Reporting from West Lafayette, Ani Kasparian, News 18.
And News 18 continues to keep track of the latest forecasts when it comes to this week's winter weather. Keeping you safe and in the know is a priority for us. You can download the News 18 weather app to keep you and your family safe. You can also stay up to date on our website, WLFI.com. Well, the COVID-19 vaccine could soon be available for children under the age of 5. What parents need to know about the new developments just ahead. And overnight, travel conditions could start becoming treacherous across Greater Lafayette. Storm Team 18 Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans is here with a look at the timing when we come back.
You're watching News 18 at 5. News from where you live.
Welcome back. A game changer for the health of young children could just be around the corner. Pfizer is expected to apply for emergency authorization as early as today for a 2-dose regimen of its COVID-19 vaccine for children 6 months old to 5 years old. Laura Podesta has the latest.
Soren Good was just 8 months old when he received his first Pfizer vaccine last May. His big brother Andel was also vaccinated, both part of Pfizer's clinical study at Stanford University.
It was a 4-year-old had a reaction, a little bit of a sore arm for a day. and that was the only symptom he had. Soren didn't have any reaction.
Their mother, ZINA Good, is also an immunologist and said taking part in the trial was a no-brainer.
This disease can be quite serious. This vaccine is very safe, and now there is evidence that it really protects you.
According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, the recent Omicron surge led to the highest number of COVID-19 cases among children since the pandemic began, more than 3.5 million cases last month alone. Over the last 2 years, there have been more than 11.4 million cases among children and teens. Dr. YVONNE Maldonado leads the research at Stanford University School of Medicine.
Since the beginning of the pandemic, if you look at hospitalizations for COVID, we are seeing that the under fives tend to have the highest hospitalization rates. So I think that's a group that is especially vulnerable.
Pfizer's 2-dose regimen for young children could become available within days. The drug maker found it safe and produced an immune response, but it's still testing a 3-dose regimen.
It will likely be done pretty soon, meaning maybe March or April.
Good says she's relieved both of her children are fully immunized.
I'm just very, very grateful and feel very fortunate that my kids had a chance to receive this vaccine.
And she says she's grateful to the scientists who made the child vaccine happen. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
And now, your Storm Team 18 forecast. Weather from where you live.
All right, here's what we're looking at in terms of this major winter storm that is headed our way that will bring very heavy snow, perhaps even a little bit of thunder with that snow as well. So we see the changeover occur after midnight tonight, and then it's all snow with time tomorrow. It's going to last really early tomorrow, right to Thursday night. 2 main waves of heavy snowfall, a very brief lull on Wednesday night. Winds gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour at times from the northeast to the north, and then eventually turning to the northwest. 12 to 18 inches of snow, some isolated amounts a little over 18 inches, and this will be the heaviest snowstorm we've seen around here since the blizzard back in 2027. All right, here we go. 12 to 18 inches, entire viewing area, isolated plus 18-inch amounts, Fowler, Monticello, up to Logansport, and then around Peru. This is the most likely location that'll see a little bit more than 18 inches. There will be just a little bit of ice down here in our southern counties, Montgomery County, southeast, Clinton County, a little freezing rain and a little bit of sleet. I want to go back to that graphic. I didn't mean to click so quickly through it. So again, be aware that no matter where you are in the area, it's a foot to a foot and a half of snow. And there will be some places that get a little bit more than a foot and a half of snow. And also keep in mind, with the wind we're going to have some drifts 3, 4, 4.5 feet in the area as well. And once again, it is early tomorrow morning through Thursday night. I've had some people say, well, it's going to start at 10 o'clock tonight. It's going to start at 9. It's going to start at midnight. It's going to be well after midnight before this starts. Let's take this in increments and show you how much is going to be on the ground based on the latest data. These are projections. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no snow on the ground except for the northwest. Here's the changeover. This is 6:30 in the morning. So when you get up at 6:30, you might look out the window in Frankfort and have 0 on the ground and say, well, where's my snow? It's not doing much. Logansport, maybe 1/10 of an inch, not much in Lafayette, not much in Attica, but you're going to be seeing much more snow on the ground as you go northwestward. Then the snow sinks southward. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then it really gets heavy. This is 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, anywhere from less than an inch near New Ross to 4 or 5 inches Lafayette, and more like 8 at Rensselaer. And heavy snow with isolated thunder continue in the afternoon with gusty winds, really deteriorating conditions tomorrow afternoon. This is 1. This is 5. So notice 7 to as much as a foot of snow at 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. And then watch 8:30 and watch 11. So at 11 o'clock, like 10 to about 13 inches on the ground. These numbers don't change much from 10 to about 3 a.m. That's the lull we're talking about. Let's look to 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. Snow comes back in. So by 8 o'clock Thursday morning, anywhere from about a foot to as much as about 15 inches on the ground. And finally, by 2:30, you get the idea here. You can see the totals at that point, and finally by Thursday evening, you get the idea. We're going to have widespread 12 to 18 inch totals, and there will be a narrow corridor of some isolated plus 18-inch amounts in the area. So here we go. This is 8:30 this evening. Showers increasing to a steady rain, isolated thunder. This is 12:30. This is icy mix. This is snow. Watch the band move southward. This is 7:30 tomorrow morning. Icy mix, all snow. All snow here. This is 9:30 in the morning. Heavy snow. Heavy snow at 2:30. Heavy snow at 7 p.m. Watch the lull. Right there it is. The lull between the two waves. This is midnight tomorrow night, and then the snow comes back in. Heavy snow at 6 a.m. Thursday morning right through 9, and snow continues Thursday afternoon before it finally pulls away. And then after that, we're looking for some near, if not record cold weather. And of course, this is on the Storm Team 18 weather app, and also the new blog post will be on the app as well and on our Facebook pages. Really pretty much every few hours we'll be updating that blog, and I'll have a Facebook Live tonight at 9:30. 18 then falling Thursday, 9 Friday, 15 below zero Friday night, near if not record cold, 1 inch or less of snow Sunday, then highs in the 20s Monday and Tuesday.